Streaming live on WHITradio.org from High Tech High School in North Bergen, New Jersey. It's Wake Up High Tech. I'm your announcer, Crazy Carlos, and now your birthday boy and the host, Sam the Man. Happy birthday. Fire.
I'm Sam the Man. Mom is Maggie.
Yo!
Amazing Aaron. And Crazy Carlos. Clearly, Crazy Carlos. We have a whole bunch of different topics to talk to. I think we're going to lead it off with an interesting article from the Washington Post. I should probably, find out who's the author of it again. Richard Cohen, right? It should. And
Yeah, Richard. Yeah, you're
Richard
right.
Cohen?
Yeah, yep.
Richard Cohen wrote a great piece about the universality of evil, and it was sort of, a comment about,
What Barack Obama
Obama's
said.
comment in the, what is it, the National Prayer or something like that?
Yeah, it was a little. It was, yeah.
The National Prayer. So, happy birthday to
They got him off guard, boy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sammy. Happy birthday to you. My boy.
He's legal, folks.
Now,
ladies, get at him.
To our fans, yep, that's right, ladies.
On
He's
Tinder,
legal.
swipe him right.
He is a man now.
Follow me on Instagram.
The law.
Nah.
Wait, no, you can. Yeah, I like that. I like that view right there. Oh, who's playing with the camera right now? Because no, not that. It was on me, and then they switched it on purpose.
So going back to our discussion of the universality of evil article, it was a really interesting piece, and talk a little bit about it. I know I have some stuff to say, so I will.
No, again, it was what you said where Sam and I spoke about this before the show, and Barack Obama was pretty much saying how a lot of evil things were done in the name of Christ, in the name of Christianity back in the day, and nowadays it's glossed over, whereas things that are done by Muslims aren't glossed over, and half the time they really aren't done because of religion. They're done because of mental disorders.
Yeah.
More so than anything else.
Or like,
Well, because
extremism.
As they,
Exactly.
As they put it, it's less about Islam and more about fascism.
Yeah.
And, as they put it in the article. And an interesting point they also make is about
Well, one more thing is to put on. Yeah. Another thing about religion is the whole thing that happened with Jordan. Where ISIS burned the pilot alive. Okay.
Michael.
So ISIS, we did a show about this last week, and ISIS burned a pilot alive who was Jordanian, and the people in ISIS and the pilot were both Sunni Muslims. So
Yeah, and they made an interesting comparison to an incident of lynching with a Mr. Jesse Washington in Texas.
oh yeah, actually I was gonna
I mean,
Lynching happened recently?
no, this was in the early
this is
1900s.
1908, but
Yeah.
they're saying they're making the comparison because they killed him in the name of their religion, Christianity, or
And
Jim Crow
the case that
laws.
happened was it
And
was a black man. This was in Texas, and he was accused of raping
rape
a
and
white
murder.
girl. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a really cool article. I mean, it goes on to discuss more about, it talks a little bit about how progressive and straightforward thinking Germany was right before it took a turn for the worse.
Mhm.
And it just it points out that this can happen at any time, and just because it's not happening to you now doesn't mean that it will never happen to you ever.
True.
So I just
And to point out that thing that you, the case that you brought up, a lot of times it actually wasn't true. Like we all had to read To Kill a Mockingbird, for example.
Yes.
And in that case, it was proven that he was supposed to be innocent, but because of the time period it was in, and he was down south in Alabama.
It was the
It
father
was-
who raped the girl.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
The whole thing was set up.
So yeah.
But I
and-
mean, I don't know if this guy was innocent or not.
No, I know.
Just, I mean, what they did to him. I mean, they mutilated his body, and
I guarantee you, if it
burned
was
him and then
a
hung him from
white guy
tree.
back then in the
I mean-
South, I don't think anything really would
Well,
have
yeah,
happened.
but I mean, that's the whole point. Is
Yeah.
is that the racism and stuff occurred and it's Americans on Americans, and we just kind of ponder at how other
Well,
countries
even
can do this
in
when
the
we
end,
did
if we're the
this. I
same
mean,
religion and the same race, we're still gonna find something else to pick at. It's just the way it is.
The one thing I don't agree with, though, is that this article says that the Christianity had 700 years to make up for its mistakes, and I don't agree with that because I think that
Oh yeah, you're right. That was.
it wasn't 700 years to make up for its mistakes. It was they've done atrocities more recent than that. It's just that they have been covered up and haven't really been discussed. I mean,
It's always been glossed over.
How many what is it? 1 million people died from the witch hunts.
Oh, I was about to bring that
mean,
up actually.
I mean that was what 400 years
What
ago?
was his
That
name? The famous one, John Hopkins, something like that. It was something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, the guy who.
If she sank, she was a witch.
This guy was crazy. She had a
Oh,
mole.
my
She
God.
was a witch.
Well, no, the test what Chaz referring to.
Oh
is
yeah,
that
they threw you in the
if
water.
Yeah, if you sank, you're a witch. If you floated, if you sank, you were.
You're a human,
you were
and
human,
we're
and
sorry
was
about it.
okay.
Oh,
And
really?
if you
That was it?
Yeah.
You're
So if
either
you- if
dead
you were
and a
floating-
human or alive and a witch, and they
Yeah,
kill, they
either
burn
way
you
you
either
die.
way.
Yeah. And if you had also another thing was moles. If you had moles anywhere on your body, and they found them.
If you were a decent thinking woman, if you didn't.
Oh yeah.
If you thought outside, if you not outside, if you thought for yourself. you
Sometimes
were a
they had
witch.
no reason to, and they were still.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
want to own land. You're a witch.
Burn
if
burn
you want any kind of rights, then
Yeah, it was
you're a witch.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So I mean, I just think it's a really interesting article. I think that if you have the time, you should read it. I found it interesting. Mo
Yeah, it was
found
really
it
good.
interesting, and I think now we're gonna move on
was
to
really well written.
Google's trying to take over the providing internet.
Google has taken over a lot of things recently. I mean, just think about it, the last few years with smartphones and Gmail and
Google
Drive.
Drive.
And so much has
Yeah.
been changing.
YouTube.
Google's the big
They
conglomerate
bought,
now.
they bought YouTube. They've taken over so much, and
Yeah.
now they're going to be working on a phone service based on Wi-Fi hotspots that they're going to use the connections of Sprint and T-Mobile
Yeah.
to the big companies that are kind of, I don't know, not as big as AT&T and Verizon, but they're either using their data networks to run their own service.
And they're gonna provide phone service through Wi-Fi, which is gonna make it extremely cheap.
It's going to be a lot
think-
cheaper.
But I don't trust it, man, because sometimes Wi-Fi has a lot of problems.
So
I just-
does
But
cellular
you could-
connection.
yeah,
Yes.
There's a lot of pros and cons. I mean, it's going to be cheaper for sure, and a lot of people have Wi-Fi now.
I think,
Yeah.
I think the
So-
thing that Google's doing is they're saying, okay, you can make a call off Wi-Fi while it's there, but if it's not there for you, we'll have you go over, the cellular of T-Mobile and Sprint. That's probably.
I
why they
mean,
took those
they've
over.
already been really pushing fast internet with the Google Fibers
Yeah.
starting to really branch out. It's only in a few places right now, mostly in the Midwest, but
Yeah.
they're
Well, I
they're
think it's in
moving
Atlanta
forward.
too.
Atlanta, yes. There's
Yeah.
there's a few places. I had the thing up a second ago.
But I think the biggest impact of this is the amount of lobbying money that Google spends per year, and the fact that they're on the good side. I don't know if that's for or against net neutrality. I
Yeah,
don't know what the good
they're
side
they're
is.
supporting.
I just know that they're on the good side of it, and so I think that that's going to be interesting because net neutrality is like the important issue of our time. It seems like everyone's talking about this net neutrality, and I think that it really needs to be protected. I think that we can't just hand it over to cable companies and let
Yeah.
them decide how much information we get at what speed. Because right now the internet is this thing where startup companies and can just spring up overnight, and you limit speed to smaller companies, and you can't see that really happening.
I know that Google is a company that I trust. Google has Google.
I trust
I have a
them.
Google phone. I used all their services. I think that they understand that the internet is something that can't really be moderated by some kind of laws like that
Yeah.
they want to do.
I think
And
it needs
get
to be
rid of net
treated
neutrality.
more like a utility than a
It's
cable
it's
company.
not a it's not what the government wants to say. Something that needs to be regulated. It's something that we use to help us either connect
Yeah.
with people or find information or just have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, well, good time. Whoa.
I mean, I don't mean
Whoa.
what you mean.
Riz,
Again,
okay.
Google is a company I trust with a lot of things,
Yeah.
but my phone and
No,
my
but
and again, the topic Chaz is about to get up to,
What,
I
the internet car?
yeah, I really don't trust. That's just me in general because of.
Way to
sorry,
spoil the show.
Sorry to
No,
the
no.
fans.
No, Hamid, you're supposed to wait for the host
to now.
transition
Well,
to
you know
the
what?
next topic.
You know what?
Well,
It's
that'll
a good
happen
thing I have
right
two
now.
stories.
I'm transitioning. I'm segueing to the internet cars. Go.
Okay. Well, it's the internet cars. So, Google actually is in the process of testing out like a self-driving car with a bunch of other companies, and the concern is that these run over internet connections, like hotspots and like data and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the concern is that like a phone or a computer or a tablet, these can be hacked.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous because.
Well, if I can't control my car,
Let's say, for instance,
Yeah,
30 years down the road, Mr. whatever president is in a self-driving car.
know, there's just
someone
so
hacks
many-
it, assassination.
There's just so many assassination possibilities with this.
That's
you
the
could
thing.
hack the car. You could track
Terrorist
where they're-
attacks?
he's trying to be
you could-
Dr. Evil,
you
yo.
could track where
Whoa,
they're
whoa, whoa, whoa,
driving.
whoa, whoa.
I feel like they're definitely gonna make a manual override like very easy, simple. I
No,
don't.
no,
I
no.
think
Well, I
that's
mean,
a
there
very
was. What do you mean manual override?
like if something's wrong with the system that your car is not
hear me?
driving
I
the
don't-
right way, you're gonna be able to just grab the steering wheel and take over for it.
See,
yeah,
you-
but then you can't control the brakes
you guys
can't-
are not
you
looking
can't-
at the big
why
picture
is,
here.
Why is that?
because they're gonna cut the brakes.
Well, can they do that to
Yes,
make
they
it?
can.
Okay, well I don't know then.
If someone hacks
Look,
your
no,
car,
you-
it's
you-
game over.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
mean,
are missing the bigger picture right now. I want you to take a look, please. Switch the camera for a second. 1 second, please.
Okay.
All right, you see that guy right there? If he's driving,
Hold on. Why'd you switch the camera to you?
what?
to
Because
talk about
because
me?
no, I was talking about See that guy right there? If he's using an internet car, just look at him for
I'm not
example.
using
People are gonna
it.
want to take him out. No. What do you do? Okay. See, people are gonna want to take him out. He's gonna be driving.
What is up
Someone's
with
gonna
you?
hack. No,
What is up with you?
someone's gonna hack his car, and I don't want to see what's gonna happen to that face.
Someone's
Is that
a
a-
little conceited.
Hold on.
eh?
Hold on, Mo. Is that a threat?
What? I'm not threatening myself.
Anyway,
Oh,
as I
Sam,
was
you're too
saying
ripped.
back in the article, it's just
Yeah.
it's addressing concerns for the future that like attacks like this can happen, and let's say if in the
Yeah.
wrong hands,
I mean,
these skills
you
can cause mass casualties, a lot of damage,
I think-
collateral.
a lot of damage.
Well, no mode of
Mo,
transportation.
Mo.
No mode of
Damage.
transportation for anyone's ever gonna be 100% safe.
You know
True,
what,
that's
it's
true,
gonna be
that's
honest,
true.
And the
But
way,
there- you know
the way
what?
things are run by the internet now, the way so many systems are electronic, you could say that about someone taking the trains,
No,
someone
no,
taking
see,
planes, someone taking.
But
You're
trains
right, you're
have
right.
manual overrides.
see, the
The
thing is
brake.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing is about trains
That's
and
exactly
everything
what I'm
like
saying.
that.
But
You sign up for that, but when you're in your own car, you're not expecting it's gonna it's gonna be hacked.
That's the problem. See,
Well,
I'd rather.
it's a
and-
changing
like-
world, you know.
No, but
All-
look at it like
hold
this,
on.
like-
all transportation may be dangerous, but this is the first time you see the threat actually, from somebody who doesn't even need to touch your car.
From somebody who doesn't have to be in your country, from somebody who doesn't have to be near
Exactly.
you. Like,
you could get an assassination
Wait.
attempt from somebody. You can get an assassination attempt on the president from China.
if I
Or from
if I'm
manual
driving,
override wouldn't work either. No, because it wouldn't work because most cars now have computer systems in place of like actual gear systems. So if it's a computer system, you can easily block out the sensors for manual override.
I don't know,
So the
man.
only way to make a manual override is if you actually have a physical e-brake.
Well,
If
I
we
feel
avoid
like
something
that's
like
something
this-
that should have been
'cause-
standard on cars for a long time.
Because look,
It
look at it
has-
like this.
it-
Look at it
yeah,
like this.
exactly.
God
It's been,
so
forbid-
I don't
it's
see
been
why
replaced
this-
though by
it is a
sensors.
big
Look,
deal.
Why
look,
big deal?
God forbid. Like, let's just say I'm driving. God forbid I mess up. It's either gonna be my fault or the other guy's fault. That like if I get into an accident. But in this case, it could be anyone.
Insurance-wise too, like how would you deduct that?
How would
from
you
a policy?
justify?
That's
Yeah,
why,
who's right,
that's
who's
why
wrong.
I will not be joining the internet age in terms of my car.
I
Neither
do
will
not agree. I
will
would
also-
never.
I will also not be
Do that
joining
either,
the
but-
industrial age in terms of getting a car.
And guys, wait.
You're not a fan of cars at all, Sam.
They're overrated.
For-
Bike.
I don't know, Sam. I can.
Anyway, I
pretty
do
sure-
No,
have
no.
a- I do
Sam
have a
Sam
s-
actually bikes from when we play basketball. He
You
bikes
can't
from
bike on the
Hoboken.
highway, Sam,
Bro,
Why
Sam is made of steel.
because you're gonna get hit by a car.
He has horse legs. I've seen.
I
this.
have a different
How
story
that
too.
doesn't what's the difference between a highway you're gonna get hit by a car than biking on the street?
Because
there's
highways
an
are going
actual, there's an
faster.
actual sidewalk
Yeah.
on the street. I mean, there's an actual
Highways
bike
have
lane
shoulders.
sometimes. There's
What?
no.
Highways have
Yeah, they gotta.
shoulders.
Yeah,
Well-
that's
Exactly.
still not safe.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know.
Nothing's
Shoulders-
safe.
You're right.
Chaz?
I have a second story.
Okay.
So, you guys remember when Sony got hacked
He's
like,
double
a
dipping.
few months ago?
Yes, sir.
And like all this movie crap got leaked just like after the interview.
Yep.
So there was talks that Marvel and Sony were gonna have a deal for Spider-Man, and it turns out as of last night, that's happening. So you're gonna see Spider-Man in most likely Captain America: The Civil War, and he's gonna be in a bunch of Marvel movies now. They're gonna implement him to all this crap, and also they pushed back the Thor movie. It's coming out in 2017 to put Spider-Man in his own movie. So what's gonna happen is Andrew Garfield, I'm sorry, I love you, but you're out the door.
All right, look, I'm sorry,
But let's
they
note,
shouldn't have gotten another. I like Tobey Maguire too much. I like Tobey Maguire too much for this.
Wait, but let's note, he's still not an Avenger.
He never really was an Avenger.
Exactly.
Yes,
Um,
but Disney makes money.
True.
So
Disney wants money.
So what's gonna happen is it's gonna be a whole new reboot. What they're saying is that it's probably gonna be like an older Spider-Man, like a few years into the future, because we don't need the origin story. We already got it.
Yeah.
Twice.
And so that's that, and they're gonna implement him into other Marvel projects. And the thing is that Sony still controls the character. Like they publish the movie, they produce it, but Marvel helps with it. Like they get to use the character. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they agree on, and hopefully nothing screws up.
Okay.
So it's a
But
really cool
that's a lot
thing.
to hope for, considering all that we've seen so far.
It's a good thing because the fans really wanted it, and now the fans are gonna get it, and now they don't have to add the Marvel history like for Civil War.
What
There's-
fans are we talking about, Chaz? Because I'm more of a Batman guy. Like, again, Spider-Man's okay.
Superman's the best, though.
So I have no
And-
problem
I
with
don't-
Superman.
I don't
I have no
agree with
problem
you.
with Superman.
You agree with me?
I don't agree with you.
You
No, no, no.
don't.
I had no.
I just
I,
Why
wanna
is how is Superman not the best?
no, honestly,
He's just so generic.
no, man, no. I'm sorry.
He's
He's
generic.
sorry.
look.
He's
I'll give
alien.
you that he's the best. He's just not my favorite.
He's the original.
He's the original, yeah.
Super-
Superman
I kinda
actually got a new
He
power.
he made the trope, but
So,
he has not
It kind of goes Super
adapted
Saiyan
to the.
in a way.
Let's not start this flame war now. We can do this
Okay.
another time.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
For those that don't know, Superman just recently got a new power where it's like an explosion thing, and he takes all the power he has, like from his cells, explodes everything, and then for a day he's powerless.
So
That's
moving on.
interesting.
I'd like to
Okay.
talk. I will, I watched Bill Maher on the occasion, and he had an interesting guest that he was interviewing. I forget who the guest was, but she discussed a little bit about what is being discussed in this article that I pulled up, to read more about it, which is an experiment in I guess it was in the 80s. It was a famous advertisement. I remember it. I don't know if you guys remember watching this in the 80s.
What? Oh,
None of us were
but I watched a lot of 80s shows.
I was about to say, I'm like, dude, I'm only
Well, not
17.
you watch 80s advertisements.
No.
You definitely do. You definitely go home and look up like 1980s commercials and just like.
Like if they're Pepsi commercials, sure, like old commercials.
No, this isn't a Pepsi. It's an experiment where a rat is put in a cage alone with 2 water bottles.
Oh, you're talking about this one, yeah.
Yeah, one is just water and the other is laced with heroin or cocaine. And almost every time you run the experiment, the rat will become obsessed with the drug, water, and keep coming back for more and more until it kills itself. And the advertisement goes on to explain, only one drug is so addictive, 9 out of 10 laboratory rats will use it and use it and use it until dead. It's called cocaine, and it can do the same thing to you.
Huh.
So then there was, what came of this was a Professor Bruce Alexander who, I guess, saw the commercial and thought the rat is in the cage all alone with nothing to do with the drugs. Why wouldn't it do the drugs? So he decided, let me build this thing called Rat Park, right? Let me build this rat. It's gonna have all the most fun things for rats, all of it. It's gonna have, it's gonna be the paradise for rats, and we're gonna do the water bottle thing again, one with drugs and one without drugs.
I never thought about that until you just brought it up. Though.
And
He has a
so,
good point.
and not only it's not gonna be an isolated rat, there'll be other rats there too.
Okay.
So what wound up happening is that in Rat Park, they still had the drug water, but they weren't heavy users, and none of them died, and I think only a quarter became addicted. So
Wow.
you see this, they all tried it. They all tried the drugged water because, they wanted to find out what was in that
Yeah,
water
yeah.
bottle. But, only, very few returned to it, very few became heavy users. And, it likened it to the Vietnam War, where supposedly as many as 20% of United States soldiers were addicted to heroin.
I thought it was meth, but never mind.
No,
in
meth was Nazis.
World War II. Okay, fine.
in
Sorry.
Vietnam, and a lot of people were concerned about them coming back to the United States. A lot of drug addicts coming
Yeah.
back, as anybody would. A bunch of drug addicts coming back. You don't want that, even if they're soldiers.
Yeah.
But what happened was 95% of the addicted soldiers stopped. No rehab, stopped.
What?
Heroin. And you're not supposed to be able to do that. There's supposed to be like withdrawal, and it's supposed to be very. They just stopped.
Well,
And
again, when
that's-
it
that's
goes
a
back to the
perfect-
cage thing you were
That's
talking
that's
about.
exactly that's
They're
the
isolated.
correlation.
They have nothing to
They're-
do.
they- You
Okay.
go from this terrifying environment in Vietnam
Yeah.
to
They have their families back. They have their friends back.
It's
Okay,
a place where
okay.
they're more social. They have people that they realize that they know around them, and they just stopped because of that.
And you said 95%.
95% stopped.
Damn.
Just stopped. And I think that's incredible. And it goes, Portugal, I guess, took this further. When they had a huge drug problem, 1%, I don't know what drug it was, but 1% of their population was addicted to, I forget the hard drug, but they were addicted to this hard drug. And Portugal was scratching their head because they tried the United States, drug war policy, zero tolerance, we're going to put you in jail for this. And they asked their scientists, what should we do? And basically all the scientists and all the, the best minds said, decriminalize it. And, at first it was like, what? And they're like, yeah, decriminalize it. Take the money that you spent on that war, on that drug war, and put it towards,
something else.
Rehabilitating these these addicts, putting them back into society, back in an environment where they have, things to do, where they have people around them, a social environment. And they're, probably, one of the cleanest countries right now.
It's one of those things where if you can't have it, it's what you want.
Exactly.
That's what you're, okay.
But it's also a matter of changing the environment for the people who are addicted.
But the thing is too, like you'll go to theme parks and you'll see like big people our age like high off their mind, like just doing it for fun. Like, I mean, it's.
But again, we're not talking.
It depends on what. Like, if it's, I don't think that you could say the same thing about, marijuana.
Marijuana. I was about to say, marijuana isn't as hardcore as heroin or cocaine.
Because it doesn't, change your mindset as much as, cocaine, heroin, something like that.
That's more of a relaxant, It's not a...
So, like, I think that, I would say that marijuana and alcohol are probably more social, and I think that if you try this experiment with those drugs, I think that you'd find that even in Rat Park, you'd probably have the same percentage as in, just a cage. Maybe probably more in the cage, but still. I think that it just shows that the war on drug is, not going after the right thing. It's been going after the wrong thing.
It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, it's going after eliminating the drug instead of eliminating the reason why the people are going towards the drug. And I think that you see, with the rehabilitation that Portugal's doing and the success that it has, it just shows you that we're not going to solve this problem until we do what they did. And I know that it's a smaller country and we would have to do it on a much larger scale, but I do think that it would be successful.
I think it would work. If not, it's obviously not going to work overnight. You're gonna have to.
It won't work overnight, but I think that I think the one issue with it would be the bureaucracy of who gets the money for the treatment, what qualifies.
That's going to be a problem,
yeah,
especially in this country.
In this country,
especially,
it'd be a huge issue. It'd be a huge issue with conservatives, but I think that's really the solution for our drug issue.
I actually have some breaking news regarding ISIS. So I'm just reading off the notification on my phone. Family of Kayla Mueller, an American woman held captive by ISIS, says it has received confirmation that she is dead. So it looks like ISIS executed someone else.
No, but go back. I'm going back to the article that I talked about. I didn't say this in the article, but this is a part of the Muslim religion. It's first of all, it's a huge no-no to kill in general. Like it's a huge sin.
But it's a huge no-no to kill anyone in general in the world.
But then, to kill a Muslim is like way worse. Like it's worse. I don't know why it's like that, but I'm just throwing that out there. So, they don't care who they kill.
On that, horrible note.
Yep, sorry. Thanks, Chaz.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm Sam the Man. That's
morning,
Muhammad
guys.
the Magnet. Yep. That's Amazing Aaron. Please,
remember, to our fans out there, it's Sammy's birthday.
No, it's not.
He's a man.
Make sure you send
Swipe
him all
right
your
on Tinder
love.
for
The
Sam.
man of steel.
Swipe right on Tinder.